Coming up this week on You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark, I'm going to take you on tours through Heathrow, Winter Park, Maitland, and I'm also going to tell you how to get that pre-approval letter before you go find your next house. Stick around. It's You Have Real Estate.
Welcome to You Have Real Estate with attorney Justin Clark.
Welcome to another edition of You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Thank you for spending some of your weekends here with us, and happy weekend to you. Whether you're a first-time home buyer, a seasoned investor, or you're just looking to upsize or downsize, these next 30 minutes are designed to help you. Think about it like we're going to take you on a trip through many open houses, all from your living room, with attorney advice the entire way. If you have any questions about anything you see on today's program, give me a call directly, 407-205-0400. That's 407-205-0400. Or visit the website, youhavepower.com. Now, as you begin this house hunt, you're going to need to get a pre-approval letter. Let me explain what that means. No one's going to let you put an offer in on their house and lock up that listing unless they really are confident that you can actually buy it. So that's why you need to get a pre-approval letter before you even start really looking for a house. And to do that, you need to go talk to a mortgage company. Now, there's this big misconception out there, I think, with a lot of people who say, well, I have my checking account over here at this bank, or I have my savings account at this bank, so I'm just going to get a mortgage through them. This concept really makes me a little bit nervous, and let me tell you why. First of all, these big box banks, so to speak, oftentimes don't have your best interest at heart. They're really there to just try to make money or put you in this one particular product, as opposed to searching the entire web of mortgage companies and lenders to find the best rate and the best deal possible for you. So be very, very careful about who you use. I recommend using a local lender or broker who's actually going to shop this around for you and find you the best possible rate, the best possible deal. And people come up to me all the time now too and say, look, Justin, there's no way I can buy a house. I'm going to keep renting because I don't have 40% to put down. I don't have 30% to put down. You don't need that big of a down payment anymore. I mean, we're back to the days of 3.5% to 5% even, depending on your credit, income, other factors, can really get you back in the business of home ownership. So don't let the being scared about the down payment make you not want to go purchase a house. Because look, we talked about it last week. The rental market in Central Florida is out of control. For the same house, every single time, I can almost guarantee you to pay rent for the house is going to be more than the mortgage that you're actually going to pay. If you have any questions about getting a pre-approval letter so you can go on that house search, I want you to give us a call, 407-205-0400, or the website, youhavepower.com. Call that number, and I can very likely hook you up with someone who can give you a pre-approval letter, maybe even today. Maybe we start that house hunt today. Again, 407-205-0400. Now it's time to go on a journey together through several different listings, several different cities. I'm going to bring in a good friend of mine, excellent realtor, Vivian Lehman. Hello, Vivian. How are you?
I'm very well and honored to be here.
So I don't know if you know this or not, Vivian, but you were my first ever agent when I first moved to Central Florida about, over a decade ago. And so thank you. We bought that the condo downtown together, which, of course, I had a baby, so I was forced to move to the suburbs now. But I definitely had a good time in Thornton Park. But you were my first ever agent. So, been friends ever since, of course.
And I think we did our first short sale together, too.
Probably so. Yeah, absolutely. So, but it leads me to the question, Vivian. So when I am looking for a real estate agent, whether I'm looking to list my property or go buy something, what am I looking for?
You're looking for someone that has experience, very honestly. Somebody that knows the market, knows the neighborhoods. I think the biggest thing that I like to do is getting to know my buyer, too.
Right.
I think that's very important.
And do I want to find an agent who's maybe has a side job doing other things, or am I really looking for someone that this is their life mission, their career as being a realtor?
I think I'm biased on this one, but definitely full-time.
I gotcha. Okay. Now, as a homeowner, there's this whole dichotomy about when you go to list a property, right? Because there are some homeowners who are looking to sell who might have unreasonable expectations, so to speak. Maybe they think their house is worth $400,000, but because you've done research, you're working in the market, that maybe it's only worth 200,000 or whatever. I mean, how do you really balance the dichotomy of you want to get the listing, you know, you don't want some other real estate agent to go tell them, oh yeah, I can get you 500 grand knowing it's 200 grand. But how do you really balance that when you go into a listing meeting or a listing appointment with a homeowner who's looking to sell? Because you want to be realistic with them, but then you don't want to lose them as well. How do you really balance those two?
I come in prepared with comparables. You know, I show them the numbers. I kind of manage their expectations too. At the same time, you're still going to have the buyer, the seller that's going to say, it's worth so much more because I put so much more into it. I said, but it's not going to appraise for that, regardless of what you've put into it. You over-improve the home, you know. But I also tell them, I'm willing to put it at a price, but you and I are going to make a deal. You're going to agree to drop the price in 2 weeks if nobody shows up.
Yeah. And they'll typically agree to that?
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
What about this? I've been talking to a lot of people lately who are telling me that they're just the opposite of me, actually. They're heading back downtown, maybe empty nesters. Maybe the kids have graduated high school. Again, I'm just the opposite. I have a 6-year-old and a 1-year-old, so I left downtown. I'm in the suburbs now, but hopefully to get back downtown one of these days. Are you seeing a lot of empty nesters move back downtown, back to the cities?
I'd say there's a small percentage of that, but then you get also the other ones that might want to go out to the villages.
Yeah.
You know, take advantage of that. So
Right, I guess so. What do you think the hottest real estate market is right now as we sit in Central Florida?
I think anything that is close to I-4. And you know, there's a lot of older homes. Investors are going for those older homes that want to, you know, rehab them. And those are the people that are buying them, the rehabbed homes.
All right, now we're going to take a little tour of some of your listings right now. So we're going to see some pictures, so definitely stick around. We're going to tour some areas in Lake County. We're going to go up to Heathrow, and we're also going to hit Maitland. So we're going to get a nice little wide variety of and different price points as well. Now, this first neighborhood, I know it well. We're going to go to Red Tail. Now, this is up in Lake County, and if you know this whole area of like 46 through kind of Sorrento there through Lake County, it's going bananas right now because of that 417 connector or whatever.
The extension,
It's
right.
going absolutely crazy. This community called Red Tail has a golf course, beautiful homes.
Guard gated.
And quite frankly, it's not that far, even though maybe you've never even been to Lake County, it's really not that far out of town, so to speak.
No.
Tell me a little bit about this listing in Red Tail.
Well, this listing, like you said, the community itself in Sorrento, it has a pool, it has a gym, it has a golf course, but this one we're pricing it at $429,900. It's on about half an acre. There is a pool. There's been a lot of upgrades done to the home. And the golf course is spectacular. The clubhouse, gym, exercise, everything.
Yeah, I've definitely played that golf course before. It's just, you're not that far out of town, but you feel like you're in a whole other world. And there are horses
That's
everywhere.
where some of those
and
retirees are going too.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Red Tail's a beautiful community. So you said, how much was this one?
$429,900.
Do you have any sort of little trick in your head when you think, okay, so if I bought a house at $400,000, how much would my mortgage payment be? Any sort of general trick that you have?
I take the current interest rate and I don't take into account the PMI and everything else.
Right.
And I always say it's a rough draft of what the interest rate. So for every 100,000, if you have a 5% interest rate, figure you've got about 500.
Okay.
I mean, that because you get that question all the time.
Right.
Now our programs are set up. So if I look up a house, I actually have a program in there to calculate, and it puts into it PMI, interest, property taxes. So I can give them a true,
Sure.
this is what your payment might be.
But still, a very rough guide without PMI, and this is a rough guide. So if it's 400,000, I'm thinking $500 or $600 a month for every 100,000. So that's a good way to look at it. Then at least gives you a rough estimate. Of course, you can go on the internet and do the
Sure.
mortgage calculator and that sort of thing. So if I'm buying a $400,000 house, I'm looking at maybe $2,000, $2,300 a month, something around there, huh?
Very rough,
I
yes.
gotcha. Well, that's not too bad. I mean, the mortgage rates being where they are now, historically low still. I mean, I think now is certainly the best time to buy. So that's a beautiful listing up in Red Tail. If you have any questions about it, give us a call. 407-205-0400. YouHavePower.com. Now we're going to head to Maitland.
Yes,
All right, let's
Maitland
go
is
down to
next.
Maitland, a city I know well. I spend my other half of the time there because that's where my office is. So tell me about this listing in Maitland.
Maitland is also a great school district. You know, the area, lots of families there, lots of parks, lots of lakes. It's very close to Winter Park, close to downtown. So a lot of people really like going to Maitland. But Maitland, this one we have it priced at believe 515. It's a 5-bedroom, 3 baths. It has a pool. It has lake access, a dock.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and there is no HOA on this one, which is really nice.
Gotcha. So Maitland is sort of split with Interstate 4. You know, my office area and a lot of the commercial areas to the west
To the
of
west.
I-4, and then
So this would be on the east side.
a lot of the residential's on
Yeah.
the east. So
it's right
whereabouts-
off of Horatio.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that is kind of like a Winter Park, Maitland sort of feel, right? I mean, I think a lot of people that live there would probably even say that we live right next to Winter Park.
Right.
Okay, so that is a very, very nice area. How long has this one been on the market?
This has been on the market for about 3 months.
Okay, good deal.
And actually it just came back on the market, fell through for financing, so.
I mean, it looks like a
available.
very, very well-kept house. I mean, that
Yeah,
looks like
it's
an
gorgeous.
awesome place. So if you want to live sort of closer to town,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a really a great spot, close to the restaurants of Winter Park, you know, that Park Avenue area. That's a lot of fun down there.
Yeah.
So I think that would be great for even a young family, I believe, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome. So now there's this little thing that most real estate agents might not want to tell you, but it's called a pocket listing. You know, a
Right.
listing that you know about, but it hasn't hit MLS yet. So it's something that you sort of have, you know, a little inside track on, so to speak.
Right.
But it really is a great way for someone who's looking to get a good deal essentially before it hits the open market. If you know that realtor who has that relationship, this is the way to do it. Now we're going to go up to a neighborhood up in Seminole County, fantastic place right off of Markham Woods Road, Heathrow.
Yes.
You know, a lot of you know Heathrow.
It's a
gated
very
community,
big community, too.
Big community with a golf course, clubhouse, all that sort of thing. Tell me a little bit about this listing, Vivian Lehman.
This listing, I call it my little sneak peek, but it's going to go on the market for 1.5. This one has, it's 7,600 square feet, 6-bedroom, 4.5 bath with a pool, open pool. It's absolutely gorgeous, redone.
Now, I've actually toured this house. I don't know if you know
Oh,
that or not. So
okay.
I've been inside of this house. The interior is absolutely amazing. I mean, it looks
Yeah.
like the prior owner spent $1 million on it. It is really an incredible home. And Heathrow's a huge neighborhood, but this is in a little sort of back area,
It's
almost
the
like
estate section. Yeah.
almost like a private area of Heathrow. So
It's a little over an acre.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
it's a beautiful, beautiful home. So if you have any questions about that listing, any listing we've talked about on this program, give us a call, 407-205-0400. We'll also put these on the website as well, youhavepower.com. Vivian Lehman, excellent job. You're going to stick around for the real estate roundtable, I hope,
Yes,
right?
sir.
All right, we'll see you in
Thank
just
you.
a minute. Perfect. I mean, that was great and great listings, and I like how you had them in different areas and different price points as well. Thank you for being here. Now, another good friend of mine is going to join us now, Peter Fatizzi. Peter, how are you?
I'm doing great,
Good to
Justin.
see you. Good,
Thank you.
Good old Irish name, huh?
So they say.
So, now, Peter, you've done a ton of short sales, maybe more than most real estate agents for sure. You know, as have we at the law firm, of
Yes.
course. Now, sometimes we call them a long sale, though, because short
Yes.
sale is a little bit of a misnomer at times. I mean, explain exactly to our audience here what a short sale is.
A short sale essentially is a property that's worth more, or I'm sorry, the loan on it is more than what the property is currently owed. Basically, the homeowner seller is upside down in the deal. So in order to sell it, you're going to have to mitigate and negotiate with these lenders or the banks to get a price point that they're going to be agreeable to and accept, to go ahead and sell the property at that point.
How long does a short sale normally take?
It varies. It depends on the amount of debt that's hanging onto the property, how many loans, what's going on with it. I mean, it could be really sticky. On average, I can get them done within 90 days, sometimes less if it's maybe one loan that we're dealing with. If it's more than one or it has municipal liens or other kind of problems, HOA problems, it could go on much longer. I've had short sales go on for up to a year.
So I'm looking to buy a home for my family. Should I make an offer on a short sale?
Absolutely, you should.
And I mean, can you get good deals via short sale or what? Because you never know. You hear all these rumors that, oh, well, it's going to take a year and the bank's just going to say no anyway. I mean, are there deals to be had via short sale?
Absolutely. Some of my best deals have come from short sales. You just have to be patient.
Right.
You have to be willing to roll with the punches, and you got to be with somebody that really understands what they're doing. If they don't negotiate or mitigate those deals properly, it could be an absolute disaster. There's a lot of realtors out there that shouldn't even be touching them if they don't really understand the process and the space.
If I'm a homeowner and I'm still underwater, a lot of us are. I mean, there's still a lot of homeowners out there that are underwater. What are the benefits of me doing a short sale versus just letting the bank come take it?
A lot of benefits. One, get you out from under a deficiency judgment. The problem with short sales is you're already upside down. So let's say the property is worth maybe $100,000, but you owe $200,000. If you let the bank take that in a foreclosure, you've got that $100,000 hanging over your head that the bank can come back and sock you with at some time as a judgment. Why would you want that? Why not mitigate with the bank, negotiate with them, have them approve a short sale, get you out of your deficiency judgment, possibly even get you some relocation monies if you're really not in a good spot at the time, because a lot of people have lost jobs, problems, things come up. Get your head out of the sand. Do something with it, because chances are I can get. And the other thing is, with a short sale in 2 to 3 years time frame, I can get you requalified to buy another house. I have tons of clients that have come back to me later on.
What do you mean by relocation money?
Well, it used to be that the federal government authorized HAFA and some other different programs at the time where the federal government would just voluntarily give you, relocation funds up to as much as 10 grand at times, depending on who the bank was and what they were willing to do. Now, well, it had to be a Freddie or Fannie Mae backed loan, but now that's gone away. They aren't doing that anymore. But some of the private lenders still are giving relocation monies. We're still getting anywhere from 3 to 10 grand from the bank now. The bank is offering this to the actual seller to do the short sale, to get out, help them kind of get on their feet to move forward into something else.
So I'm underwater on my house. There's clearly no equity. If I do a short sale, who's paying the real estate agent?
The bank pays the real estate agent.
Beautiful. What about closing costs? I mean, so you're telling me I have to pay nothing?
Pretty much.
Beautiful. I mean,
yeah. Basically, you're going to look at a HUD and it will say, seller, has all these costs and expenses, but essentially that's really the bank. Okay. And then it'll see a big fat zero on the bottom for the seller. They don't come to the table with anything.
Wow. Yeah, so it's much better than getting foreclosed on. It's better for your credit. It's just better all the way around. Don't ever just get frustrated with the bank. Leave the keys on the table and say, I'm out of here. Definitely go through the short sale process as opposed to getting foreclosed on. It's just better all the way around. You ready to do a tour?
I sure am. Let's do it.
Peter's going to take us through Winter Park, and then we're also going to see a commercial property that, to me, looks like a fantastic investment right off of I-4. But let's start here in Winter Park, Peter. Tell me a little bit about this listing in Winter Park.
This is a really nice listing of mine. It was basically a distress sale. My client was an investor, came in, redid the entire property. Turned out to be beautiful.
Wow.
Head to toe, totally refinished. It's 2244 Coventry. It's right off of 434 in Winter Park. It's on the side closer to UCF area, and that it's kind of near Loma. So it's not in the heart of Winter Park, but it's in a great area, good location near 50. A lot of venues in the area. Beautiful home, literally completely redone. This is a brand new home. There is nothing that hasn't been done in this property.
What is the list price?
$286 on this house.
Good. So I mean, it's relatively affordable. I mean,
Yes.
You can't go rent an apartment for what you're going to pay on the mortgage on something at that price. You really can't. 226. Think in terms of
286.
At 286. Think in terms of you're going to pay maybe what, $1,700 a month on your mortgage. I mean, if you go rent a 2-bedroom apartment in Central Florida, you're looking at $1,500 easy, right?
Yes.
I mean, this is a great house, and it looks like you have to put nothing into it, no work whatsoever.
This house has been done from top to bottom. Everything's brand new. I mean, this is like buying a brand new home. Concrete block construction, solid. It's on a double lot. No HOA. It's just a beautiful home. It really is.
People ask the question all the time about, what does a pool have to do with the price of my home? Does a pool positively or negatively affect the value of a home, in your opinion?
Back in the day, I think a pool had a lot more merit to a property. Because I've dealt with so many foreclosure properties in the day and things of this nature, they don't really factor in nearly as much as they used to. Now, Vivian had that beautiful property over in Heathrow. Now, a pool in a property like that, custom done.
Almost.
Yeah, and that's going to make a big difference. But when you're dealing in that price point, I feel anyway, in these ranges, I don't think it makes as much of a difference. No, if it's a custom pool, yes, possibly. But if it's a regular pool, no.
Sure.
But you're in Florida, people like pools, so I think it adds to the appeal of the house for somebody that wants to have one. But I don't think it factors in. I mean, I think back in the day we used to say maybe 25 grand if you had a pool.
Right.
I don't see that like that anymore.
I like to look at my pool. I never get in it, but I like to. If I didn't have it, I would feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's the weirdest idea, but I like to look at it. I really do. So I guess maybe I'm an idiot. Who knows?
No, you're not an idiot. I grew up in a nice house with a pool, and my whole growing up time frame was just basically maintaining and cleaning it. And I think that's what happens. People get pools, and then all of a sudden they don't want to take care of it.
Got it. So if you're an investor, this next property, I mean, this looks like an incredible investment opportunity.
Yes.
Tell me about this property, Peter Fatizzi.
Well, this is not currently, this is almost going on the market.
Oh,
Probably in
pocket
about-
listing. Back to the pocket listing.
Yeah.
I love pocket listings. This is the way to buy right here.
Yeah, this came from an attorney friend of mine. It's an estate sale. It's a beautiful piece. It's right off of I-4 and Parr Street, 175 East Parr. And I mean, they have the Magruder Eye Clinic right across the street. I mean, you can't ask for a better location. Something like this just doesn't come around too often. You can see where they're doing all the construction work on I-4. Obviously, we all are if we live in Central Florida. But you know, it's just going to be prime. It's prime location. And you know, right now it's got an old gas station that was on it that's been converted to, believe it or not, a little flower shop.
Right.
The owner really hasn't been doing much with it. He's let a friend use that as a flower shop for the time being. But I think you could easily put a nice gas station, maybe a CVS, Walgreens, you know, right on the corner like that. Can you imagine just coming right off of I-4? Plus, that the sign there is also potentially for sale. It's not.
Oh,
it
really?
doesn't go with the property, but that's an incredible piece for advertisement purposes as well.
And again, how much do you think you're going to ask for that one? Do you know?
It's going to be between.
If you can't say yet, you can't say. But
It's going to be in the million range. Let's just put it that way.
I mean, right off of I-4. I
Yeah.
mean, sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest with you. We're still kind of bantering around what price, but I mean, right now the owner is willing to look into anything. He's ready to sell. So,
Got it.
would love to entertain something on that.
Peter Fatizzi, thanks for being here. If you have any questions about Peter's listings, give us a call. 407-205-0400. It's 407-205-0400. We will also be putting these right on the website, youhavepower.com. Are you two ready for the real estate roundtable?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. So this is the time where we take your questions live on the air. If you want us to answer your questions on the air, all you have to do is go to the website and you can contact me directly from there, youhavepower.com. Enter your question and we may answer them right here on You Have Real Estate with me, attorney Justin Clark. Question number 1 comes from Dallas in Lake Mary. What is PMI? Vivian Lehman.
PMI is what the lender will charge you. It's a mortgage insurance. And so what happens is if you purchase a home and you put down less than 20%, that's the average of what they're going to charge you as far as mortgage insurance.
Is there any way to get rid of PMI?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
Once you get to the payments, or if you put down 20%
Okay.
on your deal.
Any idea how long? Let's say I only want to put down a very small amount of money at the 3.5%. Do you know how long I have to wait? Even if the value goes way up, do I have to wait like a year, 2 years? Do you know?
It's closer to 5 years.
5 years? Okay.
Yeah.
So
And it all depends on the values. I mean, if you know in 3 years that your value is greater than that 20%, then you can call the bank and say, I want an appraisal done, and get it done.
all right. Peter Fatizzi, Katie and Mount Dora ask me, should I stay away from purchasing a house that's in a homeowners association?
Not necessarily, no. If you want something that's a little more manicured and kept up, and maybe you have a little bit control over what your neighbors are doing in the potential HOA association there, it might not be a bad deal. If you're the kind of person that wants to be able to do whatever you want on your property and be able to put what you want on your property and maybe not have any issues whatsoever and have complete privacy, then I
Right.
would say avoid an HOA at all costs.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on the clientele, what you're looking for, and what you want to do. No, HOAs can be good.
You know, if you want to go duck hunting in your backyard, or have bonfires, an HOA is probably not for you.
Not a good idea, no.
But if you just want to live in a regular neighborhood where your neighbors are kind of tight, it's not always the worst thing.
No, it's not.
Vivian Lehman, is there anything I can be looking for when I'm purchasing a house that I know is in an HOA to make sure that they're not super annoying or super aggressive? Is there any sort of tricks to make sure I'm not going into a bad HOA?
Well, one of the things that we recommend is we'll always try to get a copy of the HOA rules. I think your buyer, before he closes on anything, should look at what the rules are.
Yes, very much so.
And if they can live with it.
Right. It's not a
Yeah.
bad idea at all.
Yeah.
So Ray and Eustace ask, and this is for both of you, I see that the 417 connecting Lake County to the rest of the world, how is that going to affect my property values? Peter?
If anything, I think it'll cause your property values to go up substantially. I actually grew up in Lake County.
Really?
Yeah, I grew up in Mount Dora.
Okay.
So having that access point now is wonderful. I mean, it's kind of unusual for me. In fact, I was just in Mount Dora over the weekend. All of a sudden, I see these access points that were never there. You used to have to go all the way down 441, all the way out. We used to go back and forth to Altamont forever. Apopka was kind of like, a hub too in some aspects, but it's wonderful. I mean, of course it's going to increase your property values.
Gotcha. Is the 417 done now? Is it completely finished? Do you know?
Vivian, you
I
can
don't.
chime
Yeah,
in. I think they're
don't
still.
think so,
I
yeah.
think they're still doing,
especially
some
along
stuff
that
on it.
route of 46
Yeah, right.
and 46.
But I
yeah.
think it's getting pretty darn close.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is. Oh, and I remember 46 back in the day. That was just in shot. Now it's like it's expanded. The roads have expanded the way they're doing everything. I mean,
Yeah.
441 is
and
blown
it's almost
up.
become bumper to bumper to
It's
get out
crazy.
there. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I can't
yeah.
believe how much Mount Dora has grown up. So no, it's going to only increase the value.
Allie and Kissimmee ask, and this is for you, Vivian Lehman. I went on Zillow and saw a house that I really liked. Should I get my own agent?
I believe you should.
But yeah, because
Yeah.
I mean the other option is they just call the agent who has it listed. But should Allie get her own agent to actually go show them the property?
I believe it's a good idea to get your own agent. At the same time, we are in a position where we can represent both parties, and we have to be fair to both parties. So and I think it's agent by agent. How can you handle that situation?
Peter?
The rules specify that, but I'm a firm believer that you need to have your own representation. I mean, if you're listing a property and someone comes, I'd love to take both sides of a listing, trust me, but how can you affect, you have to be fair. That's absolutely the truth, and ethically we're bound to that. But still, the seller thinks that you're representing them when you take on a listing.
Right.
So really, a buyer should have their own representation.
If either of you get both sides of the deal, are there any certain steps that you take to make sure you're being fair to both parties?
Yes. I have to, literally, I have to take what one says, send it to the other, and not be biased. And sometimes they'll look at you and be like, well, wait a minute, aren't you supposed to be representing me? I said, well, yeah, but I have to be fair to who's coming to the table also.
And there's certain information that you might get from your seller that you're not going to tell the buyer.
Exactly.
Right.
You have to.
It can get sticky.
Yeah.
Vivian Lehman, excellent job.
Thank you.
Peter Fatizzi, awesome work. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming in today, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Always welcome to come back on You Have Real Estate.
Would love
okay?
to. Thank you
The
very
information
much.
was fantastic. Just in case you missed it on last week's show, let's look at a property that's still available.
So this is in the legendary community of Isleworth. This particular home is about 7,000 square feet, listed at $3.75 million, and it's on the water on Lake Louise, which is the name of the street. And that is actually the same lake that the Isleworth Club is on. So you can actually jump in your boat and be at the club in about 2 minutes in a boat ride and be at the club.
If you have questions about anything you saw today, give us a call, 407-205-0400, or go to the website, youhavepower.com. I'm Justin Clark. I'll see you right back here next week for another edition of You Have Real Estate.
If you have a question you would like answered on an upcoming episode of You Have Real Estate with attorney Justin Clark, call 407-205-0400.